we are continuing to ask ourselves some questions about the table experience so we can discover what will continue to deepen our relationships as a family, as friends. And I have done a lot of research, a lot of study, but I want you to continue this journey with me. Let's ask the question, could it be that the table experience, the simple act of eating meals together regularly with the family, is absolutely vital to the long-term health and stability of a society? That's our question today. Well, let me cite you some research that was done by award-winning documentary filmmaker, and she's also a journalist. Her name is Miriam Weinstein, and one of the books that she has written is The Surprising Power of the Family Meals. As a journalist, she has spent extensive time researching a lot of different topics, but it just so happens that we're going to talk about some of her findings. The subtitle of her book is Smarter, Stronger, Healthier, and Happy Families. Do you want your family to be stronger, smarter, healthier, and happy? Well, here were some of her findings. She draws on studies from psychology, education, nutrition, and sociology regarding the cultural phenomenon of family meals. Weinstein, to the surprising and bold conclusion, came that eating family meals together, she calls, is a magic bullet that dramatically improves, quote, the quality of your daily life, your children's chances of success in the world, and your family's health, and our values in society. Well, that enough should be something that would stimulate us rather than arguing against why it's not necessary and we're doing fine as a family. Maybe we should sit up straight and listen a little bit and say, okay, maybe I need to reevaluate how we are living our week and planning our time, and take a look at that. Does your children have a lot of sickness? Are you struggling physically with ailments or illness, or not even having energy? Perhaps that could all change if we would be wise. So let me take you back to the scripture then to see what the Bible really says about it. We have talked about Exodus 25, where God created the first table. And he created it for a purpose, for it to be a place of redemption. But let's identify when he told Moses, I want you to set the table with plates, dishes, pitchers, and bowls. This would be where the priest would do a ceremony of purification. Then he said, put the bread of the presence to be on the table before me at all times. So the question today is, let's identify who is the bread of the presence. Now, you know, in the New Testament, Jesus said, I am the bread of life. But let's go back 3,400 years ago. The bread of the presence that God told Moses to put on the table was the redemptive presence of Jesus. So I believe that we can see the studies from sociology, education, psychology, as in Miriam Weinstein's research and many of our other university research findings, that we can understand what she calls a magic bullet. I'm proposing to you could be something very supernatural. Maybe this author doesn't understand that it really comes from God and from the bread of the presence, or the presence of Jesus, the bread of life. So when we set a table, we not only set the table for however many are in your family, if you're single, if you're a grandmother, who you're including with you at the table or by yourself, there's an additional presence that's among you. Now, although Weinstein wrote her book from a purely kind of secular point of view, we might say, from all of her studies, she did include this quote. She said, think about the unique spiritual significance that could take place at the table. She observes, each time we say grace, we are including another presence at the table. God comes to dinner with you. Well, that takes me to the scripture in Revelations where Jesus says, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man opens the door, I will come in and eat with you." So families, if you will set the table for each other, enjoy conversation, say grace, thank God for the provision in your life, for giving you one another, and understand that His presence is with you at that time. Weinstein calls it the magic bullet. The scripture calls it the bread of the presence. I am here to tell you that redemption, no matter what happened that day, God has a solution for that for you. But we have to come to the table in order to really experience that with one another. So create your table. Next week, I'm going to talk to you about setting that table, how it should be done, and what happens when you set the table.